Flying the F-35, it's like stepping 40 years into the future.
We've got 50 weapon systems across the Air Force. We're in the process of assessing for cyber resiliency, working through the correct cyber vulnerabilities.
This jet has more in common with your smartphone.
What are we doing? How safe are we? And what can we do to improve that safety? It's all about two things, right? It's about making sure that our warfighters are protected and making sure that they'll be able to do their jobs.
As a pilot in the U.S. Air Force, Major Justin Lee, callsign Hussard, flies one of the most advanced aircraft on Earth, with systems that will be upgraded and enhanced well into the future.
Yeah, so we're passing off a tremendous amount of data, and just like your computer, you want that data to be correct. And if you go into an adversarial environment against a frontline threat, then they're going to be trying to do their best to interfere with it.
But it's not just his systems that are vulnerable, it's also the data these systems take in and put out that are just as critical to the success of a given mission.
If a hacker is able to get into the GPS time and get it off sync just by a few nanoseconds, then it can cause a bomb to land in a place that we don't want.
Enemies hacking into military systems in wartime, it's a threat with potentially devastating consequences. The Cyber Resiliency Office for Weapons Systems, or CROWS, was created to help identify and correct vulnerabilities in older legacy systems, as well as future weapon systems that are in development today. Cyber resiliency is the ability of a system to complete its objective regardless of the cyber conditions.
I'm going to take advantage of all those great electronic systems and computer systems and AI, machine learning that's available. But if any one of those or all of those go away, I better still have an alternate way of doing the mission, and then a contingency way and an emergency way. So I may start off with a very elegant, high-tech kind of strike, and the emergency way may be, hey, we're back in the agricultural age, and we might have to take spears and go fight the bad guy.
And that's exactly where CROWS comes in. They offer cyber experts to join forces with the command responsible for maintenance and development of a given weapon system, and through testing and analysis, CROWS makes recommendations that make the system less vulnerable and ultimately safer.
So that's the idea behind resiliency, is you're going to fight to get your mission done no matter what happens.
Combat and training missions, weapons delivery, and airdrops are all put together using computer-based airspace mission planning systems. When the Air Force's Life Cycle Management Center wanted to overhaul their software to assist ground operations for aircraft, they called on CROWS to help.
So really, as the challenges were identified, we put together an engineering plan for how we would start to resolve or mitigate some of those cybersecurity vulnerabilities. The CROWS office walked us through that analysis as that engineering plan came together, which looked specifically at how we were going to deal with data integrity issues, not only the data that we're ingesting, but also how we're processing that data through our software, and then how we're transferring that data to any platforms. As we put an engineering plan together of how we were going to mitigate those vulnerabilities over time, then we briefed that out with the CROWS, and the CROWS funded that effort.
CROWS is able to offer expert help during the acquisition and development phase, ensuring cyber resiliency is baked in right from the start. They see their role as augmenting development, and they have a unique approach.
If I were to come in and say, I'm going to put 3 people in your organization and you're going to do what they say, it's going to turn people off. If I come in and say, I'm going to give you 3 people, use them as best you think you need to use them to do cyber, and know that we're back here as a resource to help them grow, that's going to, I think, gain me great credibility and sustain us in the future.
The CROWS office is very easy to work with, and quite honestly, as they work through really what is a congressional mandate to drive cybersecurity awareness and solutions into acquisition programs, in effect, they funded the work that we did to make mission planning software more secure. So from the perspective of what did we get out of it? Really, we got nothing but benefits out of it.
By offering cyber experts to commanders and program executive offices, CROWS helps the Air Force stay one step ahead of adversaries who may try to hijack critical data.
We take it for granted that we've had air superiority for the last few years, but one thing I think, don't realize is that we've had cyber superiority as well, and it's critical. A lot of the tactics that we use, closure rates are as fast as a mile every 3 seconds, and we'll be dropping ordnance pretty close to friendly troops on the ground.
Cyber resiliency isn't just about weapons accuracy. It's also about keeping pilots and their aircraft safe. Many of the weapon systems the Crow's office deals with fall into two categories: new systems in the acquisition phase of development and legacy systems like the F-15.
Because it's a 40-year-old aircraft, one of the biggest challenges we've had in keeping it secure is a lot of the systems on the aircraft were developed before cyber and cyber resiliency was really as important as it is today. I absolutely believe that our work with Crows is making the F-15 a better aircraft.
There are people like the folks at Crows that ensure that our systems are secure so that when I go out and step to the jet, I know that I'm taking a full-up aircraft and I can worry about the tactics. And it's important because there are lives at stake.